The video begins with the owner, a well-dressed man in his late 40s named Daniel, preparing for his transformation. With the help of a makeup artist, he dons a weathered jacket, tattered jeans, and a scruffy beard. His once polished appearance is replaced by the look of someone who has spent years on the streets. A small camera hidden in his jacket captures every interaction as he heads to one of his coffee shop locations, a bustling spot in the heart of the city. As Daniel enters the shop, he shuffles quietly to a corner table, avoiding eye contact. The employees, busy with their morning rush, barely notice him at first. The camera captures the reactions of the staff and customers as they glance his way. Some look uncomfortable, others indifferent, and a few whisper to each other, wondering why a homeless man is sitting in their upscale coffee shop. The first test comes when a young barista named Emily approaches Daniel's table. She smiles warmly and asks if he'd like anything to drink. Daniel hesitates, then quietly asks for a glass of water. Emily nods and returns moments later with not only the water but also a small plate of pastries. "On the house," she says with a kind smile before returning to her duties. The camera zooms in on Daniel's face, showing a flicker of gratitude and pride in his employee's compassion. Meanwhile, another employee, a shift manager named Mark, notices Daniel and seems visibly annoyed. He mutters something to a coworker about loitering and makes a point to avoid the corner table. When a customer complains about Daniel's presence, Mark reluctantly approaches and asks if he plans to order anything else. Daniel shakes his head, and Mark responds with a curt, "You can't stay here all day, you know?" The tension in the shop grows as more customers begin to notice Daniel. Some look away, pretending not to see him, while others openly express their discomfort. One woman even moves to a different table, muttering about how the shop should have a policy against people like him. However, not all reactions are negative. A young mother sitting nearby quietly slides a muffin toward Daniel's table, offering a small smile before returning to her child. As the day progresses, Daniel observes how his employees handle the situation. Emily continues to check on him discreetly, refilling his water and even engaging him in a brief conversation about the weather. Another barista, a college student named Jake, takes a moment to sit with Daniel and ask if he's okay. "Rough day?" Jake asks, his tone genuine. Daniel nods, touched by the young man's empathy. The climax of the video comes when Daniel decides it's time to reveal his true identity. He stands up and walks to the counter, where Mark is busy tallying the day's receipts. "Excuse me," Daniel says, his voice steady and clear. Mark looks up, annoyed, but his expression quickly changes as Daniel removes his hat and fake beard. The shop falls silent as the employees and customers realize who he is. "My name is Daniel Carter," he announces, "and I'm the owner of this coffee shop." The camera captures the stunned faces of the staff and patrons. Emily's hand flies to her mouth in shock, while Mark's face turns pale. Daniel continues, his voice filled with emotion. "Today, I wanted to see how we treat those who are less fortunate, those who might not look or act the way we expect. And I have to say, some of you made me incredibly proud." He turns to Emily and Jake, thanking them for their kindness and compassion. "You showed me what it means to truly care for others, no matter who they are or where they come from." Then, he addresses Mark and the other employees who failed to show empathy. "But I also saw moments where we fell short. Moments where we let judgment and discomfort get in the way of our humanity." The video ends with Daniel announcing a new initiative for his coffee shop, a program to provide free meals and job training for homeless individuals in the community. He also rewards Emily and Jake with promotions and bonuses, emphasizing that their actions reflect the values he wants his business to uphold. As the screen fades to black, the words "kindness costs nothing, but it means everything" appear, leaving viewers with a powerful message and a call to action to reflect on their own behavior toward others. The story, however, doesn't end here. The video's success sparks a wave of conversations online, with people sharing their own stories of kindness and prejudice. Daniel's coffee shop becomes a symbol of inclusivity, and other businesses begin to follow his lead, creating a ripple effect of compassion and change in the community. The viral success of the video brings an unexpected wave of attention to Daniel's coffee shop. News outlets pick up the story, and social media is flooded with comments, debates, and personal anecdotes about kindness and empathy. Daniel finds himself at the center of a movement he never anticipated. While he's grateful for the positive impact, he's also wary of the scrutiny that comes with it. He knows that true change requires more than just a viral moment. It demands sustained effort and commitment. In the days following the reveal, Daniel holds a staff meeting to address the mixed reactions from his employees. He acknowledges that not everyone handled the situation perfectly, but he emphasizes that this is an opportunity for growth. We're all human, he says. We make mistakes. What matters is what we do next. He introduces a new training program focused on empathy, inclusivity, and customer service, inviting experts to lead workshops and discussions. Even Mark, who initially struggled with the situation, begins to open up and reflect on his actions. Meanwhile, the community response is overwhelming. Local organizations dedicated to helping the homeless reach out to Daniel, offering to collaborate on his initiative. Together, they develop a plan to turn the coffee shop into a hub for resources, offering not just meals and job training but also access to healthcare, counseling, and housing assistance. Customers who were moved by the video start showing up in droves, many of them donating money or volunteering their time to support the cause. One day, as Daniel is working behind the counter, something he started doing more often to stay connected with his staff and customers, a familiar face walks in. It's the young mother who had quietly offered Daniel a muffin during his experiment. She introduces herself as Sarah and explains that the video inspired her to get involved. "I've been volunteering at a shelter," she says, "and I wanted to thank you for reminding me how important it is to care for others, even in small ways." Daniel is deeply moved by her words and invites her to join the team as a community outreach coordinator. As the weeks go by, the coffee shop becomes more than just a place to grab a drink. It becomes a symbol of hope and unity. People from all walks of life come together to support the initiative, and the shop's employees, once divided in their reactions, now work as a cohesive team. Emily and Jake, in their new roles, take the lead in organizing events and connecting with local organizations. Even Mark surprises everyone by stepping up, using his managerial skills to streamline operations and ensure the initiative runs smoothly. But the journey isn't without its challenges. Some critics accuse Daniel of exploiting homelessness for publicity, while others question whether the initiative is sustainable. Daniel takes these criticisms to heart, using them as motivation to prove that his intentions are genuine. He starts a blog to document the initiative's progress, sharing both the successes and the setbacks. He also invites feedback from the community, making it clear that this is a collective effort. One evening, as Daniel is closing up the shop, he notices a man sitting outside on the sidewalk. It's someone he recognizes from his day in disguise, a man named Tom who had been sitting a few tables away, quietly observing the events unfolding around him. Daniel approaches him and strikes up a conversation. Tom, it turns out, has been homeless for years but has a wealth of knowledge and experience. "I've seen a lot of people try to help," Tom says, "but what you're doing here feels different. It feels real." Inspired by Tom's words, Daniel offers him a role as an advisor for the initiative. Tom's insights prove invaluable, helping the team better understand the needs of the homeless community and how to address them effectively. Together, they develop a mentorship program that pairs homeless individuals with volunteers who can help them navigate the path to stability. As the initiative grows, so does its impact. Other businesses in the area begin to adopt similar programs, and the city takes notice, offering grants and resources to support the efforts. Daniel's coffee shop becomes a model for how businesses can play a role in addressing social issues, proving that compassion and profitability can go hand in hand. But Daniel knows the work is far from over. Every day brings new challenges and opportunities, and he's determined to keep pushing forward. As he looks around the shop one evening, watching his team laugh and work together, he feels a deep sense of fulfillment. This is no longer just about testing kindness. It's about building a community where everyone, no matter their circumstances, feels seen, valued, and supported. And so, the story continues with Daniel and his team striving to make a difference, one small act of kindness at a time. As the initiative gains momentum, new characters begin to emerge, each bringing their own unique stories and perspectives to the coffee shop's growing community. One of these individuals is Maria, a retired schoolteacher who had spent decades working in underserved neighborhoods. After seeing the viral video, she felt compelled to get involved. Maria approaches Daniel one afternoon, offering to lead literacy classes for homeless individuals who frequent the shop. Education is the key to breaking the cycle, she says with a determined smile. Daniel immediately agrees, and Maria's classes quickly become a cornerstone of the initiative, drawing in people eager to learn and improve their lives. Another addition to the team is Jamal, a former chef who had fallen on hard times after losing his job and home. Jamal had been a regular at the coffee shop even before Daniel's experiment, often sitting in the corner with a notebook, sketching out recipes he dreamed of cooking again. When Daniel learns about Jamal's background, he offers him a chance to lead a weekly cooking workshop, teaching others how to prepare affordable, nutritious meals. Jamal's passion for food reignites, and his workshops become a highlight of the week, drawing not only homeless participants but also curious foodies from the community. Then there's Priya, a high school student who had been volunteering at the shop on weekends. Priya is quiet but observant, and she has a knack for connecting with people. One day, she approaches Daniel with an idea, a storytelling night where people from all walks of life can share their experiences. Everyone has a story, she says, and when we listen to each other, we understand each other better. Daniel loves the idea, and the first storytelling night is a resounding success. People laugh, cry, and leave with a deeper sense of connection to one another. As the initiative expands, it also attracts the attention of a local journalist named Marcus, who had initially been skeptical of Daniel's motives. Marcus decides to spend a week at the coffee shop, documenting the daily interactions and interviewing staff, volunteers, and participants. What he discovers challenges his assumptions. He sees the genuine care and effort that goes into every aspect of the initiative, from the warm smiles of the baristas to the heartfelt conversations at the storytelling nights. Marcus's article, titled "More Than a Cup of Coffee," becomes a powerful testament to the impact of Daniel's vision, further amplifying the initiative's reach. However, not all new faces bring positivity. One day, a man named Victor walks into the shop, his demeanor tense and confrontational. Victor had been homeless for years and had grown cynical about charity efforts, viewing them as temporary fixes rather than real solutions. He challenges Daniel, asking, "What happens when the spotlight fades? Will you still care then?" Daniel listens patiently, acknowledging Victor's concerns. "You're right," he says. "This isn't just about a moment. It's about building something that lasts. And I want you to help me make sure it does." Victor is taken aback by Daniel's response but eventually agrees to join the initiative as a critic and advisor, ensuring that the team stays grounded and focused on long-term solutions. Meanwhile, Emily, the barista who had shown such kindness during Daniel's experiment, begins to take on a larger role in the initiative. She starts a mentorship program for young people in the community, pairing them with volunteers who can help them navigate challenges and pursue their dreams. One of her ments is a teenager named Aisha, who had been struggling in school and feeling lost. Through Emily's guidance, Aisha discovers a passion for art and begins to thrive, her confidence growing with each passing day. As the coffee shop continues to evolve, it becomes a microcosm of the broader community, reflecting both its struggles and its strengths. Daniel often finds himself marveling at the way people come together, each contributing their unique talents and perspectives. He knows there will always be challenges ahead, funding shortages, logistical hurdles, and the ever-present need to stay true to the initiative's core values. But he also knows that as long as they continue to care for one another, they can overcome anything. And so, the story continues, with new characters joining the journey and new chapters being written every day. The coffee shop is no longer just a place to grab a drink. It's a beacon of hope, a testament to the power of kindness, and a reminder that change begins with a single act of compassion. As the coffee shop's initiative continues to grow, it begins to attract attention beyond the local community. One day, Daniel receives an email from a woman named Claire, a philanthropist from a neighboring city who had been following the story online. Claire is deeply moved by what Daniel and his team have accomplished and offers to fund a second location for the coffee shop, one that would serve as both a business and a community hub in an area with even greater need. Daniel is initially hesitant, unsure if they're ready to expand, but after discussing it with his team, they decide to take the leap. The new location, set to open in a few months, becomes a rallying point for everyone involved, a symbol of how far they've come and how much further they can go. Around the same time, a young filmmaker named Lena reaches out to Daniel. She had been working on a documentary about homelessness and wanted to feature the coffee shop's initiative as a case study in innovative community solutions. Daniel agrees, seeing it as an opportunity to spread their message even further. Lena spends weeks at the shop, capturing the daily routines, the struggles, and the triumphs. Her presence adds a new dynamic to the space, as people begin to open up in front of the camera, sharing stories they might not have told otherwise. Lena's documentary, titled A Place at the Table, eventually premieres at a local film festival, earning critical acclaim and sparking conversations about homelessness and empathy on a national scale. Back at the original coffee shop, the team faces a new challenge when a nearby construction project disrupts foot traffic, leading to a temporary drop in customers. The dip in revenue puts a strain on the initiative, forcing Daniel and his team to get creative. They decide to host a series of fundraising events, including live music nights, art auctions, and even a pop-up dinner featuring Jamal's culinary skills. The community rallies around them, and the events not only raise much-needed funds but also strengthen the bonds between the shop and its patrons. One of the most memorable events is a talent show organized by Priya and Aisha. The two had become close friends through the mentorship program, and their shared love of creativity shines through in the event. The talent show features performances from people of all ages and backgrounds, homeless individuals, volunteers, and even a few local celebrities who had heard about the initiative. The highlight of the night is a spoken word performance by Victor, who shares a raw and powerful piece about his journey from cynicism to hope. The audience is moved to tears, and Victor's performance becomes a defining moment for the initiative, a reminder of the transformative power of art and storytelling. As the coffee shop navigates these challenges and triumphs, Daniel begins to reflect on his own journey. He realizes that what started as a simple experiment to test his employees' kindness has grown into something far greater than he ever imagined. It's no longer just about running a business or even helping the homeless. It's about building a community where everyone feels valued and supported. He starts to think about how he can scale the initiative even further, perhaps by creating a nonprofit organization or partnering with other businesses to replicate the model in different cities. Meanwhile, Emily's mentorship program continues to flourish. Aisha, her mentee, has started selling her artwork online and even donates a portion of her earnings to the coffee shop's initiative. Inspired by Aisha's success, Emily begins to explore ways to expand the program, partnering with local schools and youth organizations to reach even more young people. She also starts to mentor Priya, helping her navigate the challenges of balancing school, volunteering, and her own creative pursuits. Jamal, too, is thriving in his role as the initiative's culinary lead. His cooking workshops have become so popular that he starts to dream of opening his own restaurant, one that would employ people who had experienced homelessness and give them a chance to rebuild their lives. Daniel fully supports the idea, offering to help Jamal secure funding and resources to make it happen. As the days turn into weeks and the weeks into months, the coffee shop continues to evolve, a living testament to the power of kindness, empathy, and community. New faces come and go, each leaving their mark on the initiative and taking a piece of its spirit with them. Daniel knows that the journey is far from over. There will always be new challenges to face, new stories to tell, and new ways to make a difference. But as he looks around the shop, watching his team laugh, work, and dream together, he feels a deep sense of hope. This is just the beginning, and the best is yet to come. As the months pass, the coffee shop's initiative becomes a model for community-driven change, inspiring not only individuals but also other businesses and organizations to take action. The second location, funded by Claire, opens its doors in a bustling but underserved part of the city. It quickly becomes a beacon of hope, replicating the success of the original shop while adapting to the unique needs of its new community. Daniel splits his time between the two locations, ensuring that the core values of empathy, inclusivity, and kindness remain at the heart of everything they do. The documentary A Place at the Table gains widespread attention after its film festival premiere, leading to speaking engagements for Daniel and his team. They travel to conferences, schools, and community events, sharing their story and encouraging others to take similar steps in their own neighborhoods. The film's impact is profound, sparking a wave of grassroots initiatives across the country. Daniel often finds himself overwhelmed by the response, but he remains grounded, reminding himself that the real work happens not on stage but in the day-to-day interactions at the coffee shop. Back at the original location, the team continues to innovate and grow. Jamal's dream of opening his own restaurant becomes a reality when Daniel helps him secure a small storefront nearby. The restaurant, named Second Chances, becomes a sister establishment to the coffee shop, offering job training and employment opportunities for those in need. Jamal's signature dishes, inspired by his journey and the stories of those he's met along the way, draw rave reviews from customers and critics alike. The restaurant's success is a testament to the power of perseverance and community support. Emily's mentorship program expands beyond the coffee shop, partnering with local schools and youth organizations to reach hundreds of young people. Aisha, now a confident and accomplished artist, becomes a mentor herself, guiding other teens who are struggling to find their way. Priya, inspired by her experiences at the coffee shop, decides to pursue a degree in social work, determined to make a difference on a larger scale. The ripple effects of their efforts are felt throughout the community, as more and more people are empowered to reach their full potential. Victor, once a skeptic, becomes one of the initiative's most passionate advocates. He uses his voice and his story to challenge stereotypes about homelessness and to push for systemic change. His spoken word performances, including the one he debuted at the talent show, become a powerful tool for raising awareness and inspiring action. Victor also works closely with Daniel to develop a policy advocacy arm of the initiative, lobbying local government for better support services and affordable housing options. As the years go by, the coffee shop and its sister establishments become more than just places. They become symbols of what's possible when people come together with compassion and purpose. Daniel often reflects on the journey, marveling at how a simple experiment to test his employees' kindness grew into a movement that touched countless lives. He knows there will always be more work to do, more people to help, and more challenges to face. But he also knows that as long as there are people willing to care, to listen, and to act, there will always be hope. The story of the coffee shop ends not with a grand finale but with a quiet moment of reflection. Daniel sits at a corner table, sipping a cup of coffee and watching the bustling shop around him. He sees Emily laughing with a group of teenagers, Jamal chatting with a customer about the day's special, and Victor sharing a story with a wide-eyed child. He sees Maria teaching a literacy class in the corner and Priya organizing a community event. He sees a community that has grown stronger, kinder, and more connected because of the choices they've made and the love they've shown. And as Daniel takes it all in, he smiles. This is what it's all about. Not just helping others but building a world where everyone has a place at the table. The journey continues, not just for him but for everyone who has been touched by the coffee shop story. And in that moment, Daniel knows that the best is yet to come.